listening to Jai Long, and this is Make Your Break. Whether you're a big-hearted creative or an aspiring entrepreneur, let's take action on your dreams, reconnecting you with your why and giving you the how. I'm here to dish out actionable mindset tips and fun industry secrets to help you blow up your biz. From eye-opening reality checks to motivational gold, no two episodes are ever the same. So tune in weekly, skip the FOMO, and let's dive into the deep together. Hey, 2 years ago now, I made a commitment to myself and I said, I'm going to start a podcast. It's going to be called Make Your Break. And I'm going to show up for at least 12 months every single week. Make sure I don't miss an episode. And I'm just going to broadcast. I'm going to broadcast my ideas, my thoughts, my stories. I'm also going to be a news reporter. I'm going to talk to other people in the industry, make sure that I'm sharing their stories and their beliefs and things like that, and bring in a lot of inspiration to the world. And guess what? This month, my podcast has been around for 2 years and I have not missed one episode. Now, I think that's pretty crazy because I've been so busy these last 2 years. We've gone through the ups and downs. We've been in lockdown and there's been so much change. And I feel so proud of myself that I've actually committed and I've shown up like that, especially because it is a big time commitment as well. And I've been able to broadcast every single week for the last 2 years. And I don't feel like I'm going to be stopping anytime soon. So that's really exciting. So today I have actually just finished a 4-day workshop. I just did the pricing with purpose, and you can probably tell I've sort of lost my voice a little bit. Now, pricing with purpose was just an incredible 4 days, I've got to say. And I've taught so many workshops around the world. I've taught so many workshops online to literally thousands of people. I've held the biggest workshop in the world. So I know a thing or two about workshops, and usually I'm so depleted of energy afterwards. And this time was no different. I was so depleted. You know, you give your all to everybody and you're given inspiration and motivation. You're given strategies, and emotionally you are drained. Physically you're drained. Mentally you're drained. And I think it's always really hard to come back up. So almost like a big hangover, you know, you're dehydrated and you just feel like you've kind of lost everything. So what was interesting after the last 4 days was I got so much love from the community. So many messages. People just jumped on just to say hi and to send me a video message and just tell me how much, you know, I impacted them, and just being kind, basically. Just saying like, Jai, thank you so much for doing that. And what I realized is they filled my cup back up because they just gave me so much. And I feel like this is probably one of the first times in my career where I feel like I gave so much to the community, and then straight away they gave so much back. And I think, to be honest, my heart's full because it's just such a incredible feeling. I don't know if I've ever stressed this enough, but like, and I hate saying this, but I really shouldn't. But like, I do impact so many people's lives. I really, really do help so many people. And I'm not saying that because I'm, you know, my ego and stuff like that. I'm saying that because people write to me all the time. And I think when I get these messages, voice messages, video messages, DMs, emails, you know, wherever it is, it's a next level feeling. Like you can't even describe what it feels like when you've just helped someone in some way that's actually changed the course of their life. They've created more impact. They've got back their time. They've got back their freedom. Like whatever it is, they feel a little bit more inspired. They feel a little bit more motivated. It's helped them overcome their anxiety or whatever it is. And like for me, no matter what I've done in my life, there's never been this type of fulfillment. Like it's just, you can't even explain it. It's on another level. And so for me, like, you know, with my team and my staff and everything, I want to make sure I'm making as much impact as possible. So that's why we do these workshops that are very affordable for people. And we're trying to bring so much inspiration, and we're trying to change the education game worldwide. You know, like we have ambitious goals, and I know that we are going towards these goals, and it just feels incredible to give to a community that gives so much back. Now, today's episode, I don't want to talk too much, but today's episode is just a snippet from one of the days from the workshop. And it was just like a little intro story. And I talk about changing your story, because often we get so hung up on the old stories, you know, we talk about the good old days and how things used to be. And even a story from yesterday, like we get hung up on like, yesterday I submitted into a blog and they rejected me. Now I'm not as good as I was, right? And then we get stuck on this story and we forget that we can actually write tomorrow's story if we start writing right now. And I think too many of us, we are out of control with our life in that instance, in that context. And I think we need to take it back and really think about, like, where do we want to be? Who do we want to be? Where do we want to go? How do we want to grow? Who do we need in our lives right now to bring that inspiration? I think that's something we need to really think about. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I just want to give you a message, like, thank you so much if you did show up to the Pricing with Purpose and to the community that joined the business map over this launch. Like, my heart's completely full and it's just insane. The clients that we get to work with, the businesses, the goals, like all the things that we get to work with. It's literally mind blowing. And I just want to say to you today, like, you've got to go after it, right? Like, I know that I say this all the time, but I'm proof. I've gone after it. I'm in lockdown. I did this workshop. I've been showing up for people, and like, you just got to change your story. You can't give yourself those excuses. You can't play the victim. You got to be the victor. You got to go out there and just go, you know what? Today is the day that I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make an impact in someone's life, and I'm ready to do it right now. Let's go. So that's my dog snoring right there next to me. So that tells me we better get into the show. So I will see you soon. Look, I think one thing is, a lot of the times we tell ourselves an old story, and you know this, right? Like, we tell ourselves a story that's outdated, and we think about the past so often, and often we get so stuck on that we forget about our future. And you know this when, like, you hear people say, like, the good old days, like back in the day, like, you know, make something great again. Like, things used to be amazing, but now it's not as good as it was. And I think we get so stuck in the past and we forget that really, like, what I'm trying to do is, I always think of the future, right? I shared with you over the last couple of days a few stories about my childhood and stories of growing up and stuff like that. But those stories are not me. They're not me anymore, because I've grown from those things. I don't look at those days and think the good old days. I don't look at anything else but where I've been and then where I'm going. So I'm always trying to change my story. And the amazing thing is, right now, is we can all write our own story. And I think that's incredible. Now, with our money mindset and things like that, like, what I want to say to you right now, like, it doesn't matter where you are with yourself and personal development, with growing, because I know you're all here and you're all willing to learn and level up, but you are exactly where you need to be. And even if you don't know it yet, even if you can't work that out, trust me when I say you are exactly where you need to be. You shouldn't have started last year. You shouldn't have quit 2 years ago. You know, it's not about, like, what happened before. It's about what you have in control now and moving forward. So I just wanted to really drive that home with our money mindset as well. Like, I want you to think about, you know, we're talking about money mindset over the last couple of days, but the stories that we tell ourselves over and over. And a lot of times we say things like, I can't afford that, it's too expensive, or that's not for me. And what we're really saying to ourselves is, I can't invest in myself because I'm not worth it. I don't believe I can get a return on myself. I don't believe, you know, my insecurities come out. And I had a mentor tell me years ago that, Jai, like, you have a shit boss because you are the boss, right? And you need to fire that boss and you need to get employed by someone else. And what he was really saying was, like, if I'm complaining that I don't have time, I don't have money, I can't scale up my business, don't have fulfillment, I don't feel motivated, I don't feel driven, I don't feel creative, it's because I am my own boss and I have been running my business wrong. And I needed to get past where I was there so I can get into a new level and become a new person. And that's what I'm always trying to do, is reinvent myself. And so I want you to think about that for yourself as well, right? I think often, I remember when I first started my wedding photography business, and I remember I was so busy and I felt like busy was a good thing. Like, I was shooting a lot of weddings and I was staying up all night and I was editing. And then whenever I wasn't editing, I was writing blog posts. You know, if I was shooting weddings overseas, I was writing blog posts on the plane. I was contacting people, driving around, and I just kept myself so busy, but I wasn't making a huge impact. And what I felt was, I couldn't really network with people. I couldn't really join a course. I couldn't really go to a workshop because I just didn't have time. But my business wasn't growing. I didn't have money in my bank account, had no time, and I had no money.
And so that's when I realized, and that's when my mentor said, Jai, you have a shit boss. Like, if you got no time and no money, like, you shouldn't even be working for you. So it changed my mindset, and I realized I need to change my story, and I need to come from abundance, and I've got to make an impact instead of being busy. Now, we all know those people. I've got friends right now, like wedding photographer friends, and a lot of people think I'm always working and I'm always busy. And I do have different companies. I'm here educating right now, and then, I'm out doing some electrical work, and then I've got my No Skin clothing line, and I'm shooting weddings on the weekend, and I do a lot of things, yes, but I don't work more than like 8 hours a day, sometimes 5 hours a day, because I make an impact every single day, and I make sure that I write down my goals and I'm going towards what I want in my life. Does that make sense? So when I see my friends, my wedding photographer friends, and I've got a really good, dear friend to me, she's an amazing wedding photographer. She gets to shoot, weddings all around the world and gets featured everywhere. But whenever I say, like, we should go out and have a drink, we should go out and have dinner, or I'm meeting up with some other photographers, you should come and join us, or you should come talk at my workshop. And she always says, I'm too busy. I've got editing to do. I've got so much editing. I don't know how you have the time, Jai, but I don't have the time. And my business is just, I'm not making enough money, and I've just got to get in. I've got to do more editing. And what's interesting is, like, she's at a place right now where I was back then, and she can't see the light. She can't see how to get out or how to change the story. But I know where she's at, so I have empathy for her, and I can see that I have to keep going back to her and keep showing her a new way until she's finally ready to fire herself and then move herself into a new story and become, the entrepreneur that she needs to be, become the business owner, become the leader of, her business, of her clients, of her community, and then be able to spend more time and more freedom. If you're making more impact, then you're going to make a lot more income, because impact will equal the income, and you're going to have a lot more time, you're going to have a lot more freedom. So if you have no money right now, and you have no work, and you have no time as well, you've got to understand, like, it's your fault, right? Everything's always our own fault. And the decisions you made last year got you here today. And the decisions you make today is going to get you where you want to be tomorrow. So I always think, like, whatever I'm doing, am I going to thank myself in a year's time? Like, if I'm not going to thank myself in doing whatever it is, then I'm not going to do it. So that's why I'll show up and I'll work for free. And that's why I'll show up and make an impact for whoever I can, wherever I can. And I'll live my life of abundance. And I'm writing my own story right now. And that's why, I can get to the level that I'm at right now, because I can change more lives. I care for my clients. I care for my business. I care for my family and everything. And then I can go out and make an impact. Don't forget, like, this is not about money. This is about running a business from your heart. And so with marketing, with your sales, with everything, like, we think of so many strategies and tactics, and a lot of the times they're outdated, and we need to move towards running a business from our heart that we love, where we can actually care for people, and we're doing people an injustice if they don't sign up to us, if they don't hire me as their wedding photographer. Like, I feel guilty because I didn't know sales, I didn't empower myself, I didn't invest in myself to learn these things. I didn't work out how to craft an email, I didn't work out how to properly have a client meeting, I didn't work out how to actually convince and how to actually do sales, or how to craft a price guide, or how to craft my pricing, all those type of things. They walked out the door, and it's easy to blame other things. Oh, it was COVID, it was the market, it was, the economy, it's all the outside things. But when you realize that it's all your own fault and everything can be changed within, you can be the house. Like, it doesn't have to be risky, you can be the house. Then your whole world opens up, because you make different decisions and you can invest in different things and you start growing. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because, honestly, guys, and if for you that don't know this, if your business is not growing, it's dying. And that's just the truth of it. Business has to grow. And that's why you always see businesses, they grow and grow and grow. There's no such thing as a sustainable business. Businesses actually need to grow, especially as wedding photographers. We need to grow the pipeline. We need to get more people in, more eyes on our stuff, more people seeing our price guides. There's no point of over-promising, and under-promise. What is it? Under-promise and over-deliver. If you've got no one even to promise to, so if you're using those things, you're going to book less clients, and then you can't actually scale your business. And you need to scale because you don't have repeat clients. So it is a hard industry to be in, because you need to make sure you keep growing and growing personally, right? There's so many people that get stuck because they go into a university degree, they become an expert, and they're no longer a student, and they stop learning. And the reason why I can get to where I am is because I'm always learning. And I think it's so important for yourself is just to think about like, hey man, what I learned last year, all the money I invested, all the workshops that I attended, all the time that I put in, it doesn't matter because this year I'm growing again and I need to keep optimizing, innovating and marketing, getting my irresistible offer to those that love my work. And so I can continue to do that for years to come. That's so important. Now, here is a secret that many people don't know. To build your business, to grow your business, to scale your business. Okay, first of all, scaling your business, what would that look like for you? Imagine if you had enough money that you didn't have to do all the editing yourself, or you didn't have to do all the emails yourself, or you didn't have to work 5 days a week. I know a lot of people say like, hey man, I quit my job, my 38-hour-a-week job, and now I work 90 hours and get paid half the amount, right? It happens to all of us. Like it's so easy to fall into that trap because our businesses are our babies, you know, like I think Elon Musk said it right. It's like people have baby showers. We should have business showers because when you start something, it's big and it's adventurous and it's basically changes and consumes your life. So imagine if you had enough money right now that you could sign up to a course, you could get a coach, you could hire a VA, you could shoot 10 less weddings and make a little bit more money. Now, here's something that people ask me in the business map. People say, Jai, I don't want to join the business map because I don't want to just be a number. How are you going to get around to looking at my stuff? And this is an amazing question, right? But what people don't realize is it's not just me here working. I have a team of people. So what does that mean? It means that I don't have to get back to all the emails when people are writing like, what's my password and things like that. It means I don't have to book in my own mentoring sessions. It means I don't have to do all my own admin. It means that I don't have to do all the bulk of the work that I see as low value tasks for myself and I can show up for people. So it means if I've got 4 or 5 staff members all working in the business map, it means everyone gets looked after. And as it grows, every time that we've done a launch, we've grown a little bit and we've hired a new person. Just in the last 2 months, we've hired 2 new people. So Taylor and Siraj, 2 new people are there to help us, right? And Siraj was in the business map and he made his own break and came and seen us and I gave him a job because I was like, this dude is a legend. Shout out to Siraj right there. But think about it. If I didn't hire people, I wouldn't be able to serve as many people. I wouldn't be able to grow, right? And if you're not growing, you're dying. Because if I couldn't show up on social media all the time because I'm too busy writing back to emails, if I'm too busy editing until midnight, then I'm not showing up on social media. I'm no longer growing. And I think for yourself, like a lot of the times we think we are the best. No one can edit as good as you. No one can write back to your emails the way that you write back to them. No one can show up for your clients like you do. Like no one can do sales for you. No one can do your social media. I understand you're the best. And we all hang on to things. But sometimes to grow and to go into our next level and next version of ourselves, we need to learn to let go and trust others. We need to learn and let go and build a community, build people around us and get help. Getting help is one of the best ways to grow your business. Like I have so much help in my life, man. I mean, my biggest supporter is my wife, Lilu. I don't know why I pointed to the cactus, but she owns that. So, but it's the biggest thing for me. Like I have Morgan with me. Like he's been my right-hand man for the last, 6 years or something like that. You know, and he's been through the ups and downs and I couldn't be where I am today without having him on my side as well. I've got my business coach that I can check in with each week and have a chat with. A lot of my friends and family, like, hey, they probably don't support me. I don't talk about business with them because we're in different stages of life. But that's okay because I don't rely on them. I make sure my team, my staff, my coach, all those things are all there to support me. And then I've got VAs. I've got someone to edit my podcast. I've got so many people to help me. And that way I can make the dream work and I can show up and impact so many people. So I'm just showing you this because for me, this is how it looked for me to get to my next level of myself. I had to let go of a lot of things, which a lot of times letting go of money, you know, you got to pay more people, letting go of things that you believe you can do the best and realize there's people out there that can do it better than you.
Hey, I hope you loved that little snippet. The workshop was so much fun. If you haven't left me a review yet on the Apple Podcast app, it really does help me get a new audience and it helps people not waste their time because they can find great podcasts. So I would really appreciate it. I literally have, I think we've had 250,000 downloads and we've only got 100 reviews. So I know if you're listening right now, you probably haven't left me a review yet. But please, if I've helped you in some way, sometime in your career with some motivation, some inspiration, whatever it is, jump on, leave me a review, share some love. And I really appreciate you. I'm going to see you next week.